Good day, it's Gary from G&H Honey Bees, and I've been putting this off, but I thought I'd do a follow-up video to the mead that I had started and show you some results and give you some more information on how I've been doing things. So over here, excuse my reach, this is what's called Dragon Blood. This was one of the meads that I had started in my other video, and it came out crystal clear, and it is apparently quite good, but it has a slightly higher raspberry note to it than the other two berries that I mixed into it. And it came out to about 10.5% alcohol. So these two boxes here, these are my honey storage boxes. This one of course is now empty. I'm keeping them here so I can rack my meads over into another bottle so I can degas them. And some of my equipment that I have here, now this is a strainer siphon. This end of it has a 200 mesh screen on it, and this just simply goes into a bottle, and I 3D printed a cap so it can be just screwed in there. You don't have to hold it. You just screw that on there, and how this works is you pump this until liquid fills right up in the bottling tube, and then you can put it into another bottle, like so, and let the bottling wand on the bottom allows it to fill the second jug from the bottom up to the top, and the strainer screen will get out all the berries and all the bigger chunks. However, some sediment will still go through that really fine mesh screen. Now, as far as my jugs go here, set this aside. Now, I was given 4 of these 160 ounce gallon jugs. Now, these are US gallons, and they're 4.5 liters. Now, I went and bought a couple of Canadian gallons, and you can see the size difference. Canadian gallons are only 3.8 liters. Now, this is kind of good in a way, because I can start my mead in the larger jug, and when I rack it off to get the berries out of it and all the sediment, I can rack it into the smaller gallon jug, and it'll fill it to the near to the top, and that gives a lot less headspace, what they call headspace, in the top of the bottle, so that any oxygen or gases won't get in there and cause the alcohol to be converted into vinegar. And how I would do that is I set my mix up on the top of that, and that gives it enough distance to gravity feed for the siphon, just gravity feed from one jug to the next. Of course, I have my turkey baster, and I simply take a sample out of the jug and I put it into the graduated cylinder and use my hydrometer to measure the alcohol level that's in it. Now, I also have another type of auto siphon. This is a pump style. When I do the first racking, I'll let this set and degas, and it'll also have some more sediment settle out of it, and then I can rack it again into another one of these small jugs using this, and that will just siphon off the top of the liquid, and because it has this plug on the bottom of it, it keeps it up out of the sediment So it's just getting the liquid and not the sediment. So I'll set that aside. And of course, all of this stuff is sterilized. I have a 5-gallon bucket full of water, and I have the product called Star San in it. And that's a sanitization medium. You just put the stuff in it for 5 minutes, and it will kill all the nasty bugs in there that might want to convert your alcohol to vinegar. So now, as you can see, I've got some fresh brews started here. This one here is going to be another batch of dragon's blood, but I've done it a little differently. When I cooked, I used a half a cup of blackberries, half a cup of strawberries, and half a cup of blueberries. And I cooked it for about 5 minutes on the stove, and then I used a potato masher and smashed up the blueberries so that you get more of that blueberry flavor into the liquid. And then all of that went into the mix along with 2.5 pounds of honey and enough water to fill it up to this level. And then I'm just making this using Fleshman's active dry yeast. And you can see it's periodically it's bubbling away. This is about a week old. And this one is blackberries and orange zest. Now, the first time I made this, I made it with blackberries and just slices of orange. And there wasn't much, apparently, of an orange flavor to it. But using the orange zest, I can smell it coming out of the top of the bubbler. And you can see it's got a good amount of foam on the top of it. Now this one here, this is cranberry. And I've had some difficulty with this. So this is 2.5 pounds of honey, enough water to fill it up, and 2 cups of cranberries. Now what I did was I put the cranberries in some of the water that I was going to use in here, and I use boiled water. I boil enough water to make a gallon of this. And so I took some of that water after it was boiled, and I cooked the cranberries in it so that they would split open. And I think in doing that, I released a lot of pectin. Because I don't know if the camera's going to show it too well, but you see the size of these bubbles. And you can also see the discoloration in the liquid that's in the bubbler. And what's happening is, as the bubbles form down here, as the gases come out of the liquid, the bubbles are forming here in the bottom, but they aren't bursting. And I think that's because of the pectin that's in the cranberries. And these large bubbles, you can see it right up here in the neck, are still not bursting, and they're going right up in. You can see it right in the bottom of the bubbler there. And it's going up, and it's getting into the bubbler. So every once in a while I'll shake this, or I'll give it a swirl, and that smashes up those bubbles a little bit. And swirling, it's not going to hurt anything. It's actually going to help it a bit to get rid of some of the CO2 that's being produced by the yeast eating the sugar. So every once in a while, now I consider this to be kind of safe. I keep a clean bubbler handy, and when this gets really murky, I'll just quickly pop that out and pop in a clean one, and then I'll clean up the other one, sterilize it, and have it ready to go again. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but it is starting to clear a little bit, and you can already see sediment on the bottom. And this one here, if you look, you can see a good buildup of lease on the bottom there, what they call lease, or if you want to call it sediment. And there's some sediment in this as well. But these I started on the 10th of January. It's now the 19th, so it's been going 9 days. That'll probably go for another, I don't know, couple of weeks maybe, before I can rack it off and start the degassing stage of it, which will be probably another 2 weeks. So I thought I'd just pass that along. This is just a project to keep me busy and out of trouble. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know what else to say. This is something new for me to do. I've never done this before. From what I understand, the Dragon's Blood mead and the blackberry orange mead that I made before is a big hit. And people that I've had try it really, really like it. The only problem with the first initial batch of Dragon's Blood mead is you don't get that taste of blueberry in it, because I did cook the blueberries, the blackberries, and the raspberries, but I didn't smash up the blueberries. I just left them, and I noticed that they were still whole when I racked the liquid off and got the sediment and the fruit out. So I don't know that there was much of the blueberry flavor released into the liquid itself. So that's why I smashed them up this time for this one, to see how much difference there's going to be between that and the first batch. So I think that's all I have to say on this subject. So I hope to see you all again beekeeping here soon. The weather is still, I don't know, it's been raining for the last couple of days again. And yeah, I don't know, hopefully it'll clear up and we'll get some sunshine and we'll start seeing some bee activity. But for now, this is keeping me busy and out of trouble. So we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.